Manpower recently announced that the skilled trades shortage could become a choke point for future economic growth. How can this be when there's such high unemployment worldwide?
Well, clearly we're seeing unprecedented unemployment rates in many countries around the globe. Manpower recently conducted a survey and asked 35,000 employers, what is the #1 hardest position for you to fill? Interestingly, employers responded that skilled trade workers are almost across the board the most difficult to find. Notably, in Europe, where we spoke with employers in 17 countries, 10 of those countries said absolutely the #1 toughest job to fill is within the skilled trades sector.
Why is this such a pressing concern for businesses and national economies in the EMEA region?
Well, countries are going to have to address this issue if they're going to prosper. Skilled trades are vital to ongoing economic development and growth.
How can these shortages be alleviated given that skilled trades work cannot be offshored like other positions?
Well, there's certainly no simple solution, but Manpower has just recently released a paper on this very topic. It's entitled Strategic Migration, a Short-Term Solution to the Skilled Trades Shortage. And within the paper, we try to address both short-term strategies and long-term strategies that will alleviate this shortage. What we're faced with here is, unlike other positions that have a talent shortage, the skilled trade workers resist one of the trends of modern economies, and that is sending work offshore. By and large, it's what we call place-based work or geographically fixed work. So if the solution doesn't lie in moving the work to the workers, then what we are looking at here, how do you get those workers to where the work exists? Some businesses and government leaders are already using mobility to get the right skills to the right place at the right time. The easiest solution is, of course, to find the skilled workers within your own national border. However, where that's not possible, employers and governments should explore finding workers across national borders.
Is cross-border migration the answer, given the ease with which workers can move between EU countries? What about non-EU countries?
Nowhere does this concept of cross-border recruitment have greater relevance than in Europe. If you look at a country like Luxembourg, for example, half of the nation's workforce of 360,000 people come from communities that surround Luxembourg, from France, from Germany, from Belgium. The legal and legislative systems, as well as the infrastructure of the country, really support this movement of workers. And although there are exceptions, most skilled laborers in one European country can usually migrate easily, and they don't need a specific work permit to take a job in another European country. This allows hundreds of workers to move freely. A great example are butchers. There are butchers from Poland, Slovakia, the Czech Republic, who migrate each summer to Norway for Norway's peak meat processing season. They work within the industry, and when the work is done, they go back to their home country. Another example of migration of a skilled worker is a scenario in which Manpower played a role assisting a French-based parts manufacturing firm to find welders. This company came to us and asked if we could help recruit 16 welders for their organization. We found them in Poland, we migrated them into France, and the relationship was such a success that the employer has asked us to continue the relationship. It certainly benefits the employer, and it benefits those workers from Poland who not only have a steady job, but they're earning far more in France than they would earn in their home country. However, this free movement of workers throughout the EU doesn't necessarily resolve the talent shortage that exists within Europe. It doesn't open up opportunities, for example, for workers beyond the EU. And for that reason, there will still continue to be talent shortages. The UK recently released some statistics that proved this point. In 2009, although the number of migrants coming into the UK increased, the number of work-related visas that were issued declined. Some of this is in part due to the recession, and some of it is also based on a new points-based system that exists for those wishing to come into the UK from outside of Europe.
What needs to be done in the long term to develop an indigenous skilled trades workforce?
Well, let's look at Germany. Unemployment stands at about 7.6%, yet employers are still struggling to find skilled trade workers, positions like electricians and mathematicians and engineers. The issue is that they're not finding the talent that has the exact skill that they need in the right place at the right time. So long term, although immigration can certainly be an important strategic tool, governments and employers should focus on developing the workforce at home. This might include promoting more positive attitudes about skilled trades, tackling non-traditional or underutilized groups of people. So, for example, skilled trades are often viewed as a very male-oriented area, and very few women are encouraged to train within these types of positions. Employers and governments might want to investigate ways to encourage more women to become skilled trades workers. Alternatively, revitalizing the image of these jobs is going to be really important if we want to appeal to young people. This would alleviate the skilled trades shortage, and also we could tackle reducing youth unemployment. Ultimately, this whole issue of strategic migration can provide a very practical answer to talent mismatches today. Without it, we simply wouldn't have a short-term way to alleviate shortages of skilled blue-collar workers. But it's going to be essential that the public sector, the private sector, and academic institutions all band together to try to solve this problem for the long term.